Are we live? Are we live? Hey everyone, it's me. It's Michael B. No countdown clock. You get me for 30 seconds counting down. 30, 29, 28. I'm just kidding. Anyways, everybody, we're going to have a lot of fun tonight. We're talking about Arcade1Up Preorder Problems. We've all had them. Some of us have had them very recently, and I've got some nightmares to tell you tonight. This should be fun. Anyways, thank you guys for tuning in for Chill and Chat with Michael B. Hey everyone, it's me.
Hey, what's up?
And it's P-Dubs.
Sorry, I'm eating my dinner. What's going on, bro?
This is awesome. I always wanted someone to come eat their dinner live on air. This is just exactly what I wanted.
Thank you.
So you guys know I've been on P-Dub's show pretty much nonstop every time he has what is it? I Love Mondays show. Is that the name of your show?
Well, it was I Hate Mondays.
Yeah, I Hate Mondays. So I've been on it a couple times. P-Dub said to me, "How come you never have me on?" And I said, I don't know.
I didn't say it like that. I said, "How come you never have me on?"
That's true.
I added some emphasis.
So I decided, you know what? Time to return the favor and ask P-Dubs for a favor. So P-Dubs is going to join me tonight. And I'm excited for P-Dubs to join me because this would be a very one-sided show otherwise, because I've had some pretty bad pre-order experiences and I'm really excited to get these products. But P-Dubs always looks at this a little bit differently. And he's always like, we're going to get it eventually, guys. Just, chillax.
Calm down.
It'll be here.
Calm down, Mike. Mike, you'll get it when it gets here. End of show. You can roll credits right now.
Monorail. Looks like someone's talking about Well Played Arcade. Sorry, that's a different show, Mr. Dude 206.
Yep.
What do you do for a living, Mikey? What do I do for a living? I work for a charity. And P-Dubs, you work for an insurance company. Are you ready for your 45-minute conversation about insurance underwriting and how it works?
Yeah, let's talk about the proper way to insure your home arcade collection. Step 1. No, I'm just kidding. Let's not kill the vibe of the room here.
Yeah, so the big one tonight is Arcade1Up Preorder Problems. Now, the funny thing is, this is not Arcade1Up's fault. These are the retailers. I'm not saying Arcade1Up doesn't have pre-order problems. I haven't had a pre-order problem with them. You have, though. You did with Burger Time.
Oh yeah,
Everybody did with Burger Time.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of us pre-ordered Burger Time. Oh my God, my memory might be wrong, but I think we pre-ordered in like December, January, and we didn't even get the cabinet till like May. Does that sound about right?
Yeah.
If I'm off by a month or two, I'm sorry, but it was a long time ago.
So, other than that, the pre-order experience with Arcade1Up has been relatively good. I'm sure some people will comment. Everybody has different experiences, but it hasn't been that bad. But when you're dealing with other retailers, sometimes it's a little rough. I put this up on Twitter earlier, and Retro Ralph shared a video he did a couple of years ago, which he shared about his pre-order experience with his TMNT cab through Walmart. That didn't go so well. And I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that have got other experiences talking about pre-orders from Walmart that haven't gone well. Most recently, it's been The Simpsons. People are furious with The Simpsons because everybody got that notice. Everybody who bought that $529 cab pre-ordered it, all got the notification that going to be delayed till January. But lo and behold, it's on store shelves everywhere. UAG, that's how he found his, got his review out early. And yet all the people that pre-ordered it went that extra step, don't have theirs. So right now, people are pretty pissed. I'm in Canada, so I have a different experience.
Is that true, though?
Yeah.
Who is it? There's another YouTuber, smaller guy, newer guy. Kessel's Arcade?
Kessel's Arcade, yeah.
Kessel's Arcade?
Kessel's, yeah. I never know how to say that right.
I saw him post something in one of the Facebook pages saying that if you ordered from Arcade1Up directly, those were shipping. Is that wrong?
No, that's right. That's right.
Oh,
and like other retailers, like Gem and Collectibles got his today from, I believe it was Target, but that's a different cab. That's the one that comes with the tin sign, the stool, the more expensive one.
Okay.
The cheaper Walmart bundle is the one that didn't ship.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, so it's Walmart and Best Buy and GameStop and all them that those haven't shipped yet, correct?
Everywhere else is shipped except the cheap cabs from Walmart. Everybody pre-ordered.
It was 530, right?
29, yeah.
Oh man, such a deal. I
So
actually drove around a couple of Walmarts here in Arizona. No Simpsons cabinet just to be found because I was like, I just want to see the box. Like I
yeah,
was like, I'm not gonna let FOMO get me. I'm not gonna buy it. I just want to see the box. No boxes.
yeah.
But it's actually a good thing because I'm worried, Mike. I think FOMO would have gotten me. I don't know about you. Let me
There's
ask you,
a
how many of you guys have walked into a Walmart saying, "Hey, I got to go pick up some shaving cream," and you walk out with an Arcade1Up machine? Let us know in the live chat. That's happened to me.
So we have a similar thing here. It's not a cab I really want, but the Best Buy here has that new Turtles in Time cabinet there in store, and like I keep mentioning, I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna go down and look at the box. I got to stop myself because I know it'll never never end there.
Yeah, yeah. It's good to see you, Mike. It's good to see you.
Notice anything different about me? I finally colored
Yeah,
my beard for my wife.
yeah.
I feel like I'm 40 years younger.
Yep. Yeah, guys. Mike called me this morning. We do these Facebook calls every day, these video calls, and he calls me. He goes, "Hey, P-Dubs, check this out." And I'm like, "What?" And he holds up a box of Just for Men for the beard and the mustache. I was like, "Are you really gonna do it?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do it." I was like, "You should do it live on air," but he didn't want to do it. But
You literally can't do it live on air. You have to put the cream or whatever it is, the mixture onto your beard and then get in a shower.
it would have been great. But so what did it do? I still see a little gray. So why is it still a little gray? Why is it not all brown? What's going
I'd
on there?
like to tell you that I used a product called Touch of Gray, but what actually happened was it's my first time ever putting dye in my beard, and I did it wrong, so there's still gray.
Hey, nobody's perfect, right? Nobody's
Nobody's
perfect.
perfect. My wife is on me. She's like, "Yeah, if you just trim it up and do it again, it'll look fine." And I'm like, Big D Retro, what up, Michael B? Got some good news for you. You might be interested. Hit me up, man. Tell me. Give me
What
the
is it?
news.
What
Yeah,
is it? So, but then again, Arcade One Up has had some other cabinets release recently where it's just the Simpsons cabinet that this has happened to recently, right? Like Class of '81 and X-Men. Like, aren't all those shipping the way they should? Is it
I
just
don't
this one cabinet?
I don't know. I think mainly in the US, the problem seemed to be with specifically Walmart. And goes on a long time. If you talk to Cool Toy, you talk to all these guys. If you pre-order something from Walmart, there's a very, very good chance that it's going to show up in store long before your pre-order ever comes. And if you talk to Cool Toy, he'll tell you never pre-order anything because it's going to be in store first. That seems to be the regular course with Walmart. And the reason for it seems to be that Walmart online and Walmart in store are like two
Mhm.
completely different entities getting different stock at different times.
Yep.
It's not the
My,
same business.
Mike Hawk is saying Best Buy has moved up their Simpsons launch by 10 days. Well, that's a good thing for those who pre-order through Best Buy.
Yeah, he mentioned that in your stream earlier, actually.
So what are you panicking about, Mike? You'll get your cabinet.
What am I panicking about? See, I'm in a different situation.
Tell us your woes. What is
Uh,
wrong with Mike? What prompted tonight's show?
Kangza Russ is going through the same situation now, too. I know Walmart sucks monkeys, should have ordered it direct. See, that's the thing. Like here in Canada, we still can't order it direct because, dear God, I'd still be paying, $160 shipping plus also another $150 for taxes and fees. But for you guys in the States, now that Arcade One Up's doing that free shipping, that's a really good option. And Arcade One Up Direct seems to have a really good reputation for being the first out of the gate, especially with Big Blue. I think most of the people who order for Arcade One Up Direct were the first ones to get it.
Mhm. Hey, speaking of which, Mike, you and I have talked about this on our Game Room Dudes show. So if you guys follow the Game Room Dudes and stuff, my Big Blue cabinet got a notification from Arcade One Up that the PCBs are here. They've landed. They're at the ports. They're on their way to the warehouse. So if you're waiting on replacement parts for Big Blue cabinets, like I am, those will be shipping out very soon once they get to Arcade One Up's warehouse. So just a quick heads up there for you guys on that.
So Donna time, 42 and barely have a gray. I am very jealous of that. My dad was gray when I was born, so I assumed I'd go gray early.
Yeah.
Conte Dinda, Conte, I'm sorry if I always say your name wrong. I don't know why. I apologize, but he said he played it at the Brick tonight, and this is what's making me mad about The Simpsons. So let's talk about The Simpsons, my experience.
Yep.
I can hear your dish in the background. It's driving me nuts.
I'm sorry.
Every single time that you ever mention my cat.
Is it like a twisting of a cap?
Oh, yes.
Well, I'm sorry. That's the loudest cap in history, man.
So anyways,
Go ahead.
Simpsons Cab has hit Canada, but it seems to be primarily through the Brick. No one else has received theirs yet. No one else is shipping their out, but the Brick actually do have, anybody that's in, it seems to be Ontario, Quebec region, that central part of Canada, central to east, they've already seen their cabinets, picked them up in distribution, and the stores actually have them in store. If he's still here, let's see if I can find him now. I definitely won't find the comment. Yeah, WKRP in Cincinnati actually went to his store last Friday and they had Simpsons in store. And he wrote me and he was like, oh man, I was playing bowling. I almost had to pick it up. So, and then Conti, he just mentioned that he played it tonight. Like, if I was in Ontario, I could walk to the Brick tonight and pick up the Simpsons, but no other retailer has them available in Canada yet. So it's frustrating. And my Walmart experience isn't just with the Simpsons. It's with X-Men too. I pre-ordered both my cabinets through Walmart. I canceled my Best Buy pre-order because they said Walmart's more reliable. Walmart usually don't have pre-orders. Usually you just, as soon as they're available, you just order them, you can get them, but they have pre-orders this time. So I pre-ordered both the Simpsons and X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
X-Men's been available through Walmart's website for almost 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. No word on Simpsons. Nothing moving, nothing doing. So I contacted Walmart and they were like, oh, sorry about that. Your payments didn't go through. And I was like, what? And they were like, your payments didn't go through. So we didn't ship any of your cabinets out. And I was why
didn't your payments go through?
I was like, what do you mean? So the way my credit card worked, I guess I put two of them through at the same time. And the credit card company was like, yeah, that's fraud. So they put a notice on.
You sound like Kevin Hart right now. You know, the way my bank works is, I get my check and then I got the deposit, then I got to wait 2 days. You sound like Kevin Hart, like Kevin Hart special right now.
So anyways, what frustrated me about that was they wouldn't let me make my pre-order originally because it came up as fraudulent activity. So I went in and I had to contact my credit card company and say, no, it's cool. And they said, fine. So I did both my pre-orders. Uh-huh. So apparently I did my pre-orders October 1st. Then they tried to put a hold on the money October 2nd, and it came back declined because of fraud again. What? But then after that happened on October 2nd, they never bothered to contact me and left my pre-orders like, yeah, everything's cool.
All right.
Everything's super cool.
Here's what I want you to do. I want you to, you got a good relationship with John D at Arcade1Up, right? You're going to need his help getting through your credit card fraud. So you let him know, just like Kevin Hart, be like, John D, I got a savings and a checking. I got a savings and a checking. and I got to move money from the savings to the checking. You got to give me another 24 hours, bro, before you cancel my pre-order. I want my X-Men cabinet. I'm Michael B. the Game Genie. Drop the mic. I'm out. So you got to do that, bro. You got to do that.
So anyways, I called them today and they were like, yeah, well, we can't send anything until we charge you for the full amount. I'm like, okay, just charge me. Mm-hmm. So they said, yep, we'll charge you and you'll get your shipping information immediately. So they charged my credit cards and I was like, cool. I waited a couple hours, nothing doing. I called them up and I was like, hey guys, so you charged my credit cards. I paid in full now. Are you going to ship out my items? They're like, no, they're out of stock. We don't have any. I was like, what? They told me if I paid for them in full, you just send them out, that there was nothing wrong with my order. They were like, they're out of stock. We don't have any. We're not going to send them out. I was like, well, why'd I pay for them?
So
like, just a nightmare, back and forth, nightmare.
So Ninja Turtles got canceled and X-Men is still good, or did X-Men get canceled?
X-Men and the Simpsons, both of them.
They're both gone. But what about Ninja Turtles? Didn't you?
I never pre-ordered Ninja Turtles.
Oh, you didn't pre-order Turtles in time. Okay, so both your pre-orders are gone, and you have two cabinets you want to buy.
That are sold out.
Yeah. Oh, poor Mike.
And guys, that's the frustrating thing. X-Men has been available for 2 weeks, and instead, usually I'm very on top of this stuff, right? So usually I would have called up right away and been like, "Hey, dude, where's my pre-order? But I didn't. I said, let it go, let it go.
Yeah.
So finally I got frustrated and called them. And they were like, oh yeah, your credit card's bad. You just don't have any credit.
You have no credit. You have no credit for these video games. Oh man, Mike, I'm so sorry to hear that because I know how excited you are, guys. Mike, what I love about Mike, and the reason why we love having him on our Super Game Room Dudes podcast show is Mike really just genuinely loves these Arcade1Up machines. I mean, there's a lot of YouTube channels out there that cover this niche. I mean, more and more pop up every day, and some of these people, I don't think they love Arcade1Up as much as Mike does, right? And when you get frustrated, like my heart hurts a little bit for you, Mike, because I know I'm going to be hearing about it for the next week, every day, every day, all day. I've heard about it all day today, right? And then also, I genuinely feel sad for you because you really want these products. You actually will play these products, and you'll probably put out some good review videos whenever you get them. And all that stuff. So that's great.
Thanks, man.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Well, that's the other thing I wanted to mention. So the timing, because you say, as he goes back to his dinner, the timing, the timing isn't that big a deal if you're just getting the cabinets. But I've also got that other side. I want to get the cabinet because I want it, but you also want to get it because you want to do a review of it, and you hope your review is going to be received well. But there's a problem with that. With Arcade1Up reviews, they're time sensitive. If you don't do your review within a certain window of when the first reviews come out, they won't do as well as they normally do, right?
Good time to do a Frogger review.
Yeah, excellent time to do a Frogger review.
Well, actually, Mike, that's a great question for everyone who's watching. Guys, how many Arcade1Up cabinet reviews do you watch? Let's just say, I mean, think about it. It's the same thing with modern gaming, right? There's like 10,000 guys who review Nintendo Switch, right? There's like 10,000 review videos for every game that comes out. In our little niche, there's like 3 dozen, right? How many review videos do you guys watch? Do you guys watch 1? Do you watch 3? Do you watch 5? I would love to see that in the live chat. Because Mike, if they watch a lot of reviews, then I don't think you have anything to worry about. You'll get your cabinet, you'll get your review done. And because people want to hear your opinion, because they trust your opinion on the product, they'll still watch your video whenever it's posted, even if the cabinet's been out for a month or 2.
Yeah, I'll still do it. I mean, dear God, I did a Centipede Wave 1 cabinet review 2 years after it was out.
How did that video do, though?
Not so good.
Not so good.
Not so good. Not so good. But I still enjoy making it, right? And I also got Glenn's trackball, so it was cool to show that off. So,
well, I'm showing a lot of people in the live chat right now are putting in comments that they watch 3, 4, sometimes upwards of 6. So I think, Mike, as your friend, I have to console you through your difficult time that you're in right now, waiting for your products. Mike, I think they're still going to watch your videos when your videos come out. And you're going to enjoy these cabinets. And in the meantime, Mike, there's going to be plenty of content on YouTube for you to watch about those cabinets. in case you're worried about them, right? So, and that's another thing too, and that's great advice as well, because there's a lot of smaller YouTube channels out there. Like, even if bigger YouTube channels review a product, don't be afraid to make your video. Because if you have your audience and if your audience finds you, they're going to want to hear your opinion. Yeah, you may not get 30,000 views like the first guy or the larger channel. You might get a few thousand views, but that's a few thousand people that want to know your opinion, even if that product has been reviewed 10 times over. So don't be afraid to post content, even if it's already been posted by somebody else. That's like my best advice.
Kongzaros brought up a comment. How did you break your GRS yoke, Philly chick? That's Jennifer. She broke it by being awesome because, like, if anybody's ever seen her play, like, oh my God.
Yeah, I have Glenn's flight yoke the GRS flight yoke that I participated in his Kickstarter, and it shipped to me, and I still haven't installed it in my Star Wars machine yet. Yeah. Because you want to know why? I was just expecting by now for the Arcade1Up Star Wars flight yoke to break on me. And I think I play the Star Wars machine. I think anytime I'm hanging out in my arcade loft, I play that Arcade1Up Star Wars machine. It's in my opinion, it's still the best machine they've ever made. Arcade1Up. I'll fight anyone to death on it. But it hasn't broken yet. You know what I mean? Like Arcade1Up did a pretty good job on those. You know what I mean? Now, of course, I don't put in the time that I'm sure Philly Chick did, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I will tell you, like, watch her play. It's a miracle the first one lasted as long as it did, but she ran the first one into the ground. So Glenn's is more sturdier. I would love to know how it happened.
Yeah.
uh, Rainwater, you ask a good game. What point does a channel change from a smaller channel to a bigger channel? Is there a magic number? Because when I turned 21, my car insurance. No,
Oh,
there is.
I'm still a small channel. I mean, we're closed in on 10,000 subscribers, but still that is a pimple on the ass in the
Yeah.
world of social media and YouTube.
So it depends on what you're talking about. Like, some people categorize this home arcade space as, the big thing. So if you look at it in that home arcade space, you've still got Retro Ralph and Cool Toy are really the big dogs if you just want to do that space. But I mean, YouTube is such a wild animal. Like, I'm a retro gaming YouTuber and have been for 10 years. So that's I guess another subsection. And I mean, realistically, back when I started, like, people said, "Oh, a thousand's a big number, 10,000's a big number." But the reality now is, even if you're at 100,000 subscribers, that's still relatively small. But you could possibly live off 100. You could possibly live off the income from 100,000 subscribers. I think some YouTubers that have done it gone full time. That seems to be the benchmark for going full time.
Yeah,
But
that's not for me.
That's not your intention. My intention. I love my job. I do this for fun. That's why I'm not still making retro, because I could still be making videos like lists on retro gaming videos and getting 5 to 10,000 views per video. But instead, I'm here talking about arcades and getting much less.
You're so funny. You're so funny. Yeah, I mean, everyone has their own goals with this platform. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some people want it to become their career, their day jobs. Other people do it as a hobby for fun. Some people take it seriously enough that it's kind of like a second job, but not serious enough that like it would take over their day job. You know what I mean? I think that's kind of where I'm at with things. Like I consider it kind of like a second job. You know, it used to be more of a hobby, but once you kind of get going and your channel gets growing, you know, you kind of get really into it. You want it to succeed, you want it to do well, but would I ever want to become, you know, like RGT 85, you know what I mean? And quit my job and just do this full time? I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that. So that would be silly. So
yeah, Down of Time's been around for a long time. Down of Time's been here since I was doing my NES Complete Collection Chronicles, when I was trying to get a full NES collection. So Kangsa Ross, don't judge me. I don't like Chrono Trigger. And I'll say this. I like Chrono Trigger, but I don't like it that much. I actually prefer Chrono Cross, as horrible as that is to say.
Yeah. Now, Mike, you did do something really cool. Like, you did pivot your channel. You were a console channel and you pivoted to mostly home arcades, right? And you've now built up a pretty loyal home arcade type viewership, right? But
Yeah.
I still would love to see you put out the occasional one of those console compilation videos that you've done in the past. So I would still love to see that from you if you ever have time.
Oh, I do. I do. It's just, I talk about what I'm interested at the time. So I have to catch my fancy. I'm like a dog chasing a car. I got those new N64 controllers. I got all that stuff. So I've been actually playing a bunch. Like today, I had a really shitty day. So I wasn't feeling well. So I wanted to relax.
Yeah.
I played through the first 6 dungeons in Legend of Zelda on the NES today on my Nintendo Switch with my new NES controller. So
Yeah, I was too slow to order, and those NES controllers are, I think they're still sold out, the 64 ones, right?
the 64 is, but you can still get NES,
I have the
Super
I have this
Nintendo.
yeah, I have the Sega, and I don't have the 64. Like, I need to get the 64 controller. So for the
Oh,
Nintendo
it's so
Switch.
good too. Unfortunately, it
Yeah.
looks like it's going to be sold out till next year.
What you got here? What is this? What is this green thing?
I know, it's a super chat. Thank you so much, Andrew. Clay's Creation and more. I want my art to be my full-time job. My YouTube channel is a big part of that. Yeah, there's a lot of really great people out there. Like you've got the Renaissance. I don't know if you've ever seen him. He's a great classic retro game YouTuber, and he does this painting. It's incredible. And also Square Painter. Oh my God, the stuff he does. Whoa. will listen well. And you tie that stuff in. I mean, your YouTube then becomes basically a way to showcase your other talents.
Yeah. Well, so this just sounds like lately this is like just a retailer snafu, right? And we've seen this before from Arcade1Up. And Mike, you'll get your cabinets eventually.
No.
Well, what would make you happy? What would make you happy?
Here's what I had to do. I had to cancel my X-Men cabinet because Walmart didn't have any, and then I ordered it from The Source, which is they're a good retailer but a little less reliable. And anyways, I'm on the process of possibly canceling that, and I'm talking to the Brick now because the Brick have both cabinets available. It's just the way the Brick works is you have to pay all your money up front, and their return policy is not so great. Their return policy is basically 48 hours. You have 48 hours to determine if you're going to return your Arcade1Up cabinet. And you know, with these Arcade1Up cabinets, unless something happens immediately and you notice it, something can happen like 5 or 6 days later and you're like, shit, I'm stuck with it now. And now I got to wait for customer support. And you know how long they are on getting PCBs and parts in right now. You've seen it yourself. So I'm a little nervous about doing that. But the thing about the Brick is, if you can get past the 48-hour return policy, if you can get past the 100% upfront for your purchase, they're the most reliable retailer in all of Canada, and they get their stuff first. Specifically, if you live in that Ontario to Montreal, Eastern Central Canada region.
Yeah. Hey, Mike, can I tell you a funny story real quick?
Mm-hmm.
So I just noticed over my shoulder here, my At Games Legends Ultimate, the track mode has frozen on me. Now, what was funny is on these Legends Ultimates, the track modes are supposed to run in a loop, like continuously. But I've noticed since like the last couple firmware updates, after about an hour to 2 hours, it'll freeze up. So see how it's kind of stuck on that screen now? The other one's still going. That one's probably going to freeze up too here any minute now. Is that silly? At Games, do us a favor. There's a way you can find out why the attract modes stop working after like an hour or two, because some people like to leave these cabinets on for many hours, right? Like when you're down in your arcade room, how long do you leave everything on?
As long as I'm down there. I've never done like a full day. I've done pretty close. It depends on if I have time. Like if me and my daughter are going down there, we'll turn it on, just leave it on the whole day. We'll have music going, 80s music. We'll have dance parties down there while the arcades are going in the background. But I don't see the sense of doing it without being there to experience. So I wouldn't. It's in my basement, so I wouldn't just have it on. And plus, if I have it on, it's right above where my wife has her fancy living room. So she's there trying to watch like Chicago Fire or something like that. And then all you can hear in the background is X-Men versus Street Fighter.
What is the difference between a living room and a fancy living room? That's what I would like to know.
So a living room, which we have a living room and a family room, which is essentially the same room. But the family room is the room that we relax in. The living room is the one that's always nice and pretty in case we have company over, so they think that we're a very clean home.
Yeah. Well, here, I gotta pop that machine off. Time for commercial break. I'll be right back. Hang on a second.
Fancy living room does not have a TV. I forced the point of having a TV in there. It was the best decision I ever made, because when I want to play console games in the family room, I tell my wife to go in her fancy living room.
Oh, really silly. Really silly. I don't
know your problem. I know your problem.
Not
enough Arcade1Ups in there.
Hey, I have plenty out there. Like, I kind of keep them together. Like I have all the At Game stuff in my office, and then I have like all the Arcade1Up stuff. Hey, wait a minute, my one of my Arcade1Up pinballs is right here.
I know.
To my left.
So I kind of got this room inspired off that room, because your office is where you keep all your multi-cades, and this is my multi-genie cade, which I kind of took from that atmosphere. I also had to justify to my wife while I was bringing arcades upstairs to make more room.
Yeah. Oh, I love this comment by Ray. P-dubs, your grandmother didn't have a room that no one was ever allowed to sit in but looked nice. Well, I guess so. I mean, yeah. That's interesting. Not that I could recall. I don't think my grandmothers ever did that. I don't think they did. Oh, well. It's funny. I just think it's funny. The fancy living room.
Well, it's a room that you wouldn't do normal things in. Like you're not going to sit on the couch and eat right in front of the TV in there.
I can see you eventually when you run out of space going up to her and saying, "Hey, Alara, you know what would make this room even more fancy? Throw a couple of Arcade1Up cabinets in there, right?"
So, Alan's Ageless Arcade. How many arcade machines and how many pinballs? Well, that's a moving target. Right now, I've got 13 Arcade1Up cabinets and 3 pinballs down in my arcade downstairs, and up here I've got my iArcade, my At Games Legends Ultimate, and my Legends Pinball. Oh, I've been there, Kong Zero, so I've done this too.
All right, so I have upstairs right now. I have 12 arcade machines, 3 pinball machines. Downstairs, I have 3 pinball machines, 5 Arcade1Ups, and in my garage, I have about 6 Arcade1Ups that I need to sell, and get rid of, because I just have too much and I'm just out of space.
So, I knocked over a water bottle. Don't get mad at me, P-Dubs.
No,
so anyway,
it's your show.
So last week, RGT85 was on, and I don't know if you guys have been following his social media. He had a problem with pre-orders as well. He pre-ordered his X-Men cabinet through Target, and they canceled it on him.
Why? Any reason?
Nope, no reason. They just didn't, I guess, get as much inventory in as they could. They oversold their initial statement and canceled his order. So he ended up getting one from GameStop afterwards.
So isn't that the one that they did that pre-order and they charged the wrong price on too?
I think so.
That seems fishy to me. Like, we charged the wrong price. Let's wait a couple months and cancel everybody's order. Like, that's, I mean, but then again, I'm a glasses half empty kind of guy. Like, I'm calling shenanigans on that. Let me know if you agree with me. It seems kind of fishy. They undercharged those cabinets by $100, and now out of the blue, sorry guys, we got to cancel these orders. Seems kind of weird. Let's see. Yeah, Kong's R Us, for my real pinball machine, I do have a video on my channel for that. So it's
oh yeah, that's a Super Mario one.
Yeah, it's from like a year and a half ago. So yeah, a long time ago I made that video. And I added it. Oh my god, so I made this Super Mario Brothers review. This goes to show you how like YouTube is funny. And when I filmed that review video, I was like, oh, I need background music. For some reason, I picked like some Mozart, Beethoven classical music to play. Like, I think I picked better music now to play in my videos, but man, it's horrible music to listen to when you watch that video. It's like why is this guy playing Super Mario Brothers and there's like Mozart playing in the background? It's hilarious. Oh man, those were the days. Those were the days.
MG says Target shipped his, and after building it, I wish they hadn't. So that's unfortunate to hear. You're not happy with your X-Men cabinet.
Well, my biggest concern right now is, and keep in mind, my Big Blue, I'm waiting for that PCB. Hopefully they'll ship it to me this week. But it seems like all the cabinets from Big Blue on, though, Mike, I think the speaker gate thing is real, because I keep hearing everyone saying Simpsons, X-Men, Turtles, they're all saying that the volume, Big Blue, like there's something wrong with the volume, right? Like the cabinets just aren't as loud as we want them to be.
I've seen it with Turtles in time. I've seen it definitively with Big Blue. I know that for a fact. But I'd have to see X-Men in those for myself, because there's people out there that have told me that there's a speaker problem, but they don't like the Arcade1Up speakers anyway. So they'll tell me, oh, there was a speaker problem on this cab that I have that I know is not the same problem as Big Blue. So I need to, Conti says the Simpsons speakers weren't great. So I need to get the X-Men and Simpsons cabinets for myself, because I know for a fact, like exactly what the problem is with Big Blue and TMNT. And I mean, it's a very light audio signal with very little bass. So I want to make sure that
there's got to be something. Like there's got to be something going on there, because if you think about it, guys, how many of you guys own the Star Wars Arcade1Up? Like, doesn't it sound amazing?
Yeah.
Like the cabinet's got a nice little hum to it. Like how is it they go from that to now these things are like whisper quiet? You know what I mean? Like there's something going on there, and I think Arcade1Up needs to address it, because we want these cabinets to sound good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Well, I mean, I think Arcade1Up will. I don't think they're going
uh,
to let it go quiet.
mm,
Cheap.
my Marvel vs. Capcom has that actually. I take my I have the Marvel vs. Capcom online cabinet, crank that thing up to 15, put it next to like the Golden Tee cabinet. And even at 15, it's not even half as loud as my Golden Tee golfing cabinet. And this is a fighting game cabinet, right? Like it should be bumping.
Yeah, there's a difference between like some of them just have different audio. I mean, like
Yeah.
Golden Axe sounds different than some of the other cabs. So there's difference in audio, but there's a very specific issue happening with Big Blue and with that Turtles in Time cabinet that I think they've got to address. They just got to figure out how to do it. And I think a lot of it might come from the fact that this is one of the first times they've split audio with that audio out jack.
Oh, really? Is that what's going on?
Yeah, it's one of the first times they split audio, so I don't know. Something I want to do is I want to take my Big Blue and actually take the speaker jack and plug it into a different cabinet to see if it's something with the PCB or to see. I know it's not the speakers. John D's already confirmed that, but I'm going to double check myself. Plug in speakers I know are really good and see how that sounds.
We got a comment from TCND005. He says Simpsons bowling leaderboards won't save. That's the first I've heard of that. Is that true?
I don't know. I've heard that some stuff on The Simpsons doesn't save. Jay Reed lists here, Target canceled his Tron pre-order, and that's surprising.
What?
Yeah. I paid with PayPal in 4, and that payment method doesn't work well with pre-orders.
So
there you go.
Here's like let's talk about Arcade1Up 2021, right? Like CES and all that was, CES and E3 and all that was all digital, right? And and let's be honest, they mailed it in during E3. Like E3 was probably, they could have done so much better. You know what I mean? We've talked about this ad nauseum. And a lot of people were just getting mad. Also, they stopped communicating with the community, stuff like that. But what I was very happy personally to see myself is that over the last couple months, it just seems like Arcade1Up was once again gaining all that trust back. You know what I mean? Like their customer service has definitely improved. I'm hearing more and more positive stories about their customer support. The fact that people are actually getting, it's kind of funny, Mike. We all whine and complain until the minute the cabinet's in our hands. And once we have the product, everything's fine. You know what I mean? Like, but people are getting the new products that have been announced, and their fighting game community is really taking off. The Put Your Quarters on the Glass, Rev 5 and Bkong and 2Die4, like all these guys building a community around those fighting games, connected play. John D coming back and not being a tool, like being like a solid dude. You know what I mean? Like earning respect back that he lost. Like Arcade1Up was just, I think Arcade1Up is getting back to being, you know what I mean? Like everything we wanted it to be, you know what I mean? And, but it just seems like these small things, like what's going on with all the speakers and what's going on with the shipping issues with the retailers and stuff. Like, I know some of it's outside their control with world events, ports. I think there's still 77 boats lined up off the coast of California. Could be more. I get that. It's just, I hate to see them lose momentum. You know what I mean? Because if there's one person who was being an Arcade1Up detractor for a long time, it was myself. But they've definitely started winning me back over the last 4 or 5 months. And I would hate to like go back to this side. You know what I mean? Like I've been really impressed with what they've been doing and the products coming out. Like, we reviewed the new countercades and the tabletops. I know a lot of people don't like, oh, we don't need them. They're worthless. Who needs a countercade partycade? That product line, if you think about where that product line is today versus the original generation, one of those, Mike, massive improvements.
Yeah.
Massive improvements in overall quality, games, design, sound. And I would hate for them to take a step back on the 3/4 arcades and, you know what I mean? And only do well on the mini stuff, right? We want the bigger stuff to be better. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So that's kind of like Arcade1Up 2021, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Is like they just had like the first 8 months of the year all they did was piss people off. And then the last 4 months, they've been doing so much better, so much better. Hopefully, we don't see them take any more steps backwards. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. I don't think this is a step backwards. I think this is easily rectifiable. They're just
Yeah.
waiting to find an answer. I'm hoping it's something that is. Someone earlier mentioned that if it's mono sound, splitting the mono sound makes it sound worse. That's a possibility. I don't know if it's mono sound. I don't know what the issue is. I don't really want to say much more on it until Arcade1Up comes up. We know what's going on, and I'm sure there'll be an answer. SJMEOLA Smola, I'm going to assume that's how you say it. Thank you so much for the super chat. Considering the At Games Legend Mini is a non-cabinet solo option, do you guys recommend? Funny enough, we both did reviews. We did some of the first reviews for the At Games Legends Mini, and we provided our feedback on that. So obviously, if you want to check those videos out, that's going to be a lot more detailed than anything we could have to say right now. But P-Dubs, I don't know if you wanted to add something in there.
I think what happened with those reviews is we already have the big dogs. You know what I mean? We have the big Legends Ultimate. You got one behind you. I got two of them behind me. And when you already have that product and you get the Legends Ultimate Mini, and it's a lesser product for a lesser price, which is good, but it doesn't do everything, as well as the big dog that's got spinners and trackballs, 24-inch screen versus 18. Like, I think that kind of hurt. Like, if I didn't own the big machines, I probably would have been more of a fanboy over the Legends Ultimate Mini Tetris Edition that I reviewed. You guys can watch my review. I specifically said, if you own Legends Ultimate, you don't even need to buy the Legends Ultimate Mini. There's really no reason to do so.
If you don't own the Legends Ultimate, you still don't need to buy a Legends Ultimate Mini, because you can just buy the Legends Ultimate.
Well, then again, though, if you think about it, the Legends Ultimate does take up a much bigger footprint. You know, I mean, it's like having a 4-player Arcade1Up in your row. Some people don't buy 4-player Arcade1Up cabinets because the extended control decks take up too much space, and real estate is precious if you're a super collector and want to buy as many cabinets as possible. So the bigger Ultimate Arcade machine, it kind of here's what would have been cool. Imagine if time was reversed, Mike. Imagine if the Legends Ultimate Mini was their first offering, like 3/4 scale.
That would be different.
And then they had just come out with the Legends Ultimate, the bigger ones, right? We would have all been like, oh my God, this is amazing. 24-inch screen, trackball, 2 spinners. This is awesome. It's so much better than the little one. But now you're going from bigger to smaller. It's so much harder to justify that. You know what I mean? So does any of this make sense?
No, not at all. The Legends Ultimate Mini, I mean, unless you very specifically want that and don't mind playing games out of aspect ratio, it's probably not the best cabinet to buy. I'm sorry. I just got to be honest here. The fact that it's $399 compared to $499 for the Legends Ultimate at Sam's Club makes it a really hard purchase. But keep in mind, once stock is gone of the Legends Ultimate at Sam's Club, when it comes back, it's probably not going to be $499. So this will seem much more attractive.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I sidetracked. I forgot where I was going. What I was trying to say is the Legends Ultimate's got a big footprint. It's a much bigger cabinet. And some people, if you don't have room for it, Legends Ultimate Mini is a tad bit smaller than an Arcade1Up. I mean, it's taller than an Arcade1Up on a riser, a standard one. But it's about 19 inches wide. It's a very narrow cabinet. I think an Arcade1Up cabinet's about 20.5 inches wide. So it's like 19.2 inches or something like that. So you could fit that thing in your arcade easily. Like, it'll blend in nicely, those Legends Ultimate Minis. These things, like, they take up a pretty big footprint, the Ultimate Arcade machines. That's what I was trying to say. So some people, it comes down to space, Mike.
Yeah. Listen, it's an option. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm giving my personal opinion, and that's all.
Yeah.
So MVC 2 in 2022. I think everybody wants to see it. I think it's still too early. There's a lot that's going to have to go into that. I don't think Arcade1Up is going to pull that off unless there's an absolute miracle and that game gets released in general. If you want to, go online and look it up. There's a nightmare with getting Marvel vs. Capcom 2 out to the public in any format right now.
Yep. Yeah. I don't have any inside info on that, so I'm excited to see how that turns out. It would be really cool if that comes back in 2022. I would agree.
Digipunk says use it as a vertical cab for shooters and pinball. If he means the ALU, yes, but keep in mind, in order to use the full screen, you're going to be doing it at an aspect ratio that's not correct. Or if you do put it in a correct aspect ratio, it's really not any bigger than what it would look like on your Legends Ultimate. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, I have the actual specs. Do you want me to give them or not?
Sure, throw it out there.
All right. So, like, if you're playing on your Legends Ultimate Mini in vertical orientation, if you want your games to be in the proper aspect ratio, you don't stretch the games to fill the entire 18-inch screen. So, when they're properly centered and in the right aspect ratio, it's about a 15-inch playfield from corner to corner.
A little bit less.
Well, about 15. No, because, but what's interesting though is if you take the 24-inch monitor while it's in horizontal position, and if you play a vertical game in its proper aspect ratio, God, I can't do this backwards. It's actually about 13 inches.
That's
on
not
the.
correct.
Yeah, it is. It's like 13.4 or something like that.
No.
On here. Basically, you're not gaining that big of a playfield space on the Legends Ultimate Mini if you want the games to look good. But what is nice though, and I even said that in my review video, Mike, is the pinball games look really good when you fill up the entire screen. So if you want to play pinball on it,
yeah,
it's awesome. It looks great, plays great.
No doubt about that. Honestly, it's the second best pinball experience in the At Games Legends ecosystem, 100%.
Yeah, you must have been using one of those Canadian tape measures. So
you mean with the metric system? So accurate measurements.
No, more like, I don't know. Let's just get off that topic. And then like if you go to play horizontal games, you could actually. So what's interesting is on a Legends Ultimate arcade machine, when it's in horizontal mode like this, because it's the only mode it comes in. If you play a horizontal game in its proper aspect ratio, the play field corner to corner on this 24-inch monitor is 18 inches. So it's actually a bigger play field than on an Arcade1Up 17-inch monitor. And it's about an inch shorter than iArcade with their 19-inch monitor, right? But when you play a horizontal game in its proper aspect ratio on the Legends Ultimate Mini, because it's that little 18-inch narrow screen, right, Mike? Like the screen is just so narrow, your playfield's only 13 inches. So it's pretty small. So if you think of, do you guys remember the Pac-Man, like all the Arcade1Up Pac-Man 40th? And whenever you would play, what's the Pac-Man game where he's running horizontally and you got to jump over people? Is that Pac-Land?
Yeah, Pac-Land.
So, and remember how on those vertical cabinets, Pac-Land was only about a 12, 13-inch playfield? Well, that's what you're going to get on the Legends Ultimate Mini if you don't. And that's for playing retro games, right? But what's really cool is like when I play modern games on it via Steam, Mike, obviously you play modern 16:9 games. They look fantastic on that in horizontal.
Well, I mean, that's why it has the 16.9 screen. It's future proofing. So, I mean, it's one of the drawbacks of future proofing. Like I would buy this product. I'm never going to use a modern product on it, a modern game. I don't buy the ALP. I buy it primarily to play retro games, but there's drawbacks to the future proofing where it affects the retro gaming. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Like I would have much rather preferred a 4:3 screen that I could rotate and then have perfect aspect ratio both ways.
Yeah, just spin it like a top.
Well, spin it like John Cena's belt.
Are you voguing right now? Is that what you're doing right now?
Make a pose. Vogue.
All right, we can get off that topic, Mike. What else you got for me?
How did you measure exactly? And who gave you this math? This seems like nostalgia math. Nostalgia gave you those numbers.
I used my own tape measure ruler thing. I'm telling you, you overestimated.
No.
We're gonna hit. Well, all right, we're gonna do it live.
We're gonna get Rev on here. Akuma Rev is gonna come on here, and he's gonna do a voiceover of us doing measure wars.
Yeah, but yeah. So pre-orders now, minus that, I don't have anything else on pre-order though right now, Mike. So haven't ordered Killer Instinct yet. Obviously, I've told a lot of people that I'd like to get that one. Did you pre-order Killer Instinct?
No.
Or did anybody in the live chat pre-order Killer Instinct? Let us know. Strongly considering that one, but honestly, I'm really thinking about getting Ridge Racer. Like, I'm really thinking about it, Mike. Like,
You're just sad because you didn't get the stand-up outrun. You need a stand-up
yeah,
racing cab.
I want
Yeah.
a stand-up racing cabinet, you know. And
Yeah.
oh yeah, one of the 6 cabinets in my garage to sell is the sit-down outrun. So, by the way, guys, if you're in Arizona and you're looking for a sit-down outrun that's in near mint condition, let me know. Hit me up, Facebook, whatever. I'll cut you a deal. Come pick it up. Get it out of here. But yeah, I would really like to get that stand-up the Ridge Racer. Like, I just love racing games. I don't know about you. Like, I really enjoy racing games.
I really like Outrun. I just downloaded Forza Horizon 5 last night, so hoping to get some time to play that in the next couple days. I wish I had Nostalgia's racing car. Like, as much as I made fun of him when he was building that, because I was like, that's definitely going to be the design for the At Games Racer. That thing looks so cool.
I don't know. Like, when
he kept showing it to me, and I was like, "That's the At Games Racer, isn't it?" And he was like, "No, it's my own build." And I was like, "Whatever, man."
What's great about us all being friends is we can bust each other's balls over this stuff. You know what I mean? And when I saw his little race car from the profile, I was like, when he pans over the camera, I was expecting to see like a mattress because it looked like a race car. It looked like a race car bed from the side, right? I was like, did he build a race car bed? Did he make a video about a race car bed? But no, it's an actual racing cabinet. So
yeah,
but kudos to him, man. That's a lot of work. He spent a lot of time on that.
Yeah.
And it looked pretty cool. It's a midlife crisis build, but it's okay.
Yeah. I sleep in a racing car bed. I sleep in a big bed with my wife.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm thinking I'm going to, for you know how for Christmas I'd like to get you all gifts. So
Yeah.
I'm thinking about ordering off of Amazon like a twin bed, like a little kid's twin bed mattress, and sending it to Nostalgia. I'd be like, here this is for your race car bed, buddy. I want you to be comfy.
Oh, that race car is so cool. And like that wheelie got like he was there telling me all about it, and I was like, I do not care. But he kept telling me about it and like seeing it in place, like really, really good. He did such a good job, man. I'm really, really impressed with it. It was just I was worried because his is so simulation, and I couldn't tell if it was the At Games Racer because I want that to be arcadey and not simulation. So we'll see where it goes. Obviously, Nostalgia's not doing it, but I didn't know.
Yeah. A lot of people are saying Chase HQ, Daytona. Hearing looking at all the comments in the live chat.
Well,
favorite racing games.
If you remember our prediction show we did on Super Game Room Dudes last week, that's what we're predicting next year. Is the next racing game's going to be Daytona? That's what everybody thinks. So, do you get Ridge Racer now, or do you wait for Daytona next year?
You get Ridge Racer now because you're not getting Daytona next year.
What do you think's coming out next year then?
We talked about this on the Super Game Room Dudes on Friday. So it's kind of funny. It's like, I think Arcade1Up will eventually give us those games, right? Like we'll eventually get them. But it's like, we all expect the next racing cabinet to be Daytona. But what you're going to end up getting is pole position. That was my prediction for next year. Is we're going to get pole position. And we all expect, and keep in mind, that's the word, expect. We all expect Arcade1Up to give us a House of the Dead as the next shooting or light gun game cabinet. And I think you're going to end up getting Time Crisis instead. Does that mean they'll never come out with those other cabinets? No. It doesn't mean they're never going to happen. It's just I think we'll get pole position before we get Daytona. And who wouldn't mind pole position? Pole position's cool, right?
Pole position, and that's an interesting topic. That's probably going to be the chill and chat next week. I was watching a video from Justin earlier, Console Kits, and he talked about there seems to be this huge movement now where Arcade1Up has some data from like a couple builds they've done. Like people are excited for Dragon's Lair. Tron sold out pre-orders, and now that Defender Partycade went nuts and sold out like crazy. Maybe there is a market they didn't think was there for these classic cabs for the older collectors. Because I know they've been trying to do a lot of 90s stuff to try to get that shit out there because retailers know it. But there seems to be more of a market. They can sell the stuff they didn't think they could sell really quickly. So maybe there is a market for pole position, because I know in most arcade collectors, like real old school arcade collectors, if they're going to get a racing game, they all want pole position for some reason. I've never played it, so I don't know.
Yeah, and now they have the ability. They're selling direct. They're offering free shipping on direct orders. So, why not, make a batch, satisfy your fans who want those games. And yeah, you could still pump out all the, those titles that Walmart's going to pick up, anything that's got Marvel or Disney or whatever on it. You know what I mean? Just keep sending it to them, so.
And all that stuff.
And all that kinds of stuff. Why you got to make fun of my tagline, bro?
No, I'm not making fun of it. You just didn't use it enough. Cruising probably before Daytona, Donna Time says. I wouldn't be mad at that.
I wouldn't be mad either. Cruising's good.
But when I had our GT on last week, he said something about Nintendo partially owns the rights. I'm not 100% sure about that because I thought Raw Thrills owned the rights, but maybe there is something to that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't follow all that. Who owns what. We'll have to start Googling that more like everybody else so we can be licensing experts.
We're going to goggle it before the shows?
Yep.
Robin Rising says Cruising is owned by Nintendo. Yikes. Yep. And you know what? Honestly, Cruising USA, like, that brings me back to N64. If there's a game that comes on that Nintendo 64 streaming service that they got set up now, really hope it's, Wave Race 64 first, but then Cruising USA. That'll bring me back to the old days.
Yeah. Look at Jason. He put Racer Babycade.
Yeah,
what if they sold like mini Arcade1Up Junior racing cabinets for your kids?
Well, I think that would do really good.
I don't know. Restalgia said the Babycades would be the best-selling arcade product. Are they available for order?
I don't know if they're available for order. I know that right now, if you go to Toys R Us in Canada, they have them right in stock. You can just go pick them up off the shelf. I don't know where. Yeah, in the US, they've got that deal on the website, don't they? Buy a Pac-Man Legacy plus the Babycade.
If you guys could get your kids an Arcade1Up Junior racing cabinet, would you do it? Let us know in the live chat.
Donna Time wasn't KI Nintendo too, but I think
you know what I
think.
You know what I see some dads doing when they're having that conversation with mom? She's like, yeah, why don't you go get little Billy the Arcade1Up a Junior pole position racing cabinet? And he goes and he gets the full size. And she's like, well, why'd you get the full size? He'll grow into it. And in the meantime, I'm going downstairs. Vroom, vroom. He'll grow into it, baby.
Downtime says wasn't KI Nintendo too. I believe lots of company Rare retained the rights to that. Like that, Microsoft now owns Killer Instinct.
Yeah. Screw the kids. I want one myself. The toddlers already play Outrun Sit Down. No need for baby version. There you go.
My kid was so mad when I got rid of my Sit Down Outrun. She loved that thing.
Hello, Dan Z. Hello back. So
I do have to tell you a couple other pre-order stories. I have not had a lot of luck here. I had an experience with Best Buy here in Canada, and I never had, I forget which cabinet it was. And I knew for a fact because I went to the distributor here in Canada and I said, what's going on with this cabinet? If I'm not mistaken, I think it was the Street Fighter, Capcom, and Midway Legacy. And I said, they're available now, but they haven't shipped out. And I contacted Best Buy and they said, oh, sorry, it's not the release date. We have them in the inventory, but we don't ship them out to the release date. And I was like, the release date was a month ago. But they got screwed up. So then I contacted the retailer, and he had actually had to contact Best Buy and explain to him that the release date was not a hard release date. So they never shipped it out. So that's another bad experience I had. And that's why I don't usually pre-order from Best Buy.
Yeah, I don't pre-order very often. The Arcade1Up cabinets, that is. I usually end up ordering them, once they're in stock. I can't think of one that I've pre-ordered in a while. Like, I think Burger Time just burned me so bad, waiting like 5-6 months for Burger Time to show up, that like Burger Time and I have the Marvel Superheroes Limited Edition cabinet. That one I pre-ordered. But like
that was the only way to get it.
Yeah. Like think about like Big Blue. I bought it. It was in stock, ready to ship. You know what I mean? Like, so guys, it's okay to be patient. You know what I mean? So you don't have to be first.
That's what I normally did, but Walmart changed their policy this year. Walmart, with this new line of cabinets, finally started doing pre-orders. Before, it used to just come up that it was just available, so you could order it and then it would send out to you. And there's our buddy Restalgia. Look in the comments. He knows about the luck I've had with pre-orders here in Canada.
Yeah, nostalgia. How is that race car bed? How have you been sleeping in it at night? The audience would love to know.
So Sosa, Fam, Bam, Bam. Any news on the Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 live? No.
I haven't heard anything.
I'm not 100% sure that that's going to be released as a legacy cabinet with the live settings. There's a possibility that there's going to be a whole nother Mortal Kombat cabinet that comes out next year that's got more of a Mortal Kombat 1 art without Johnny Cage. That's going to be a full online cabinet. That's my guess. But maybe I think the Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 version is just going to be another Midway Legacy cabinet. We'll see.
Yeah. I really want there to be a Mortal Kombat like online cabinet. Like I think a lot of us would just have such a blast playing that game together online. So that was one of our predictions for next year is that we'll see an online Mortal Kombat cabinet in some way, shape, or form. And that will probably be one that I will have to buy just to play online with everybody else. You know what I mean? Which would be funny, Mike, because I have had the original Mortal Kombat Arcade1Up.
Yep.
Then I upgraded to the Costco version Mortal Kombat, which was a spectacular cabinet. And then I upgraded from that to the Midway Legacy cabinet, which I have now, which I would probably end up selling to make room to get like Mortal Kombat Online. So can you believe Arcade1Up might get me to buy Mortal Kombat 4 times from them? I wonder I wonder how many people have bought 4 like Pac-Mans or anyone else same situation. Let us know.
I'm on my second Pac-Man and I'm on my third Street Fighter. Smola asked a good question. Why didn't one-up put the right music into my Frogger Time Pilot Countercade? It's because the song in Frogger is London Bridges Falling Down. And Konami refuses to pay the licensing on it, so they came up with their own song, and that's what they sell to people.
Look at this. So we got 2 Pac-Mans, 2 Street Fighters. Shay is on his 3rd Street Fighter, so it sounds like he had the Street Fighter original cabinet. Sounds like he had Legacy, Capcom Legacy, and it sounds like he upgraded to Big Blue. Let me know if that's correct, Shay. I wish the Pac-Man was yellow. Yeah, not seeing anyone else. So maybe it's just us who are obsessed, Mike. Maybe we're the only ones.
Well, it depends. I mean, RGT was on last week, and he said he refuses to buy a cab with the same games he already has on it. But he also isn't like us. Like, he doesn't like the light up marquees. He doesn't want risers. He plays with these on the floor, so he's fine with just the sound the way it is.
Oh, he probably just like sits in a chair, like a little stool or something, and plays.
That's right.
He doesn't like light up marquees.
Nope.
God, I love them. Like, I gotta have them.
Yeah. So when Marvel Superheroes came out, he bought the cabinet, and Arcade1Up sent him the limited edition one. He ended up giving the limited edition one away to his like nephew with the riser and lit up marquee, everything.
Yeah. Kongs R Us said he had 10 Star Wars yokes, but then again, he was doing all those mods, right?
Yeah. Some people actually, when Golden Tee first came out, they actually bought up a ton of the replacement lit up marquees and just rebranded them and put them on their cabinets.
Okay. Very, very cool. It's kind of weird not being the host, like, you know.
I know.
We talked
about this. You're just gonna sit back.
I just gotta relax. It's kind of it's stressful, guys. It is stressful when you're hosting a live stream. You guys don't think it is. It's work. It's stressful.
You just need to chillax. You just need to let it happen, man. Just have a natural conversation. That's what this is all about. It's not a show. Yeah. It's conversation.
Yeah, it's a chill and chat, or in your case, a shill and chat, right?
Chill and chat. Yeah.
Oh, Mike. What are we gonna do with you, man? What are we gonna do?
I don't know. I don't know. Just let me live my life and buy what I want.
You have the same conversation with your wife, and how does that go?
Not as well as I'm hoping it's going to go with you.
You can have that conversation with me. Go talk to Laura about that and see what she says.
No, but okay. So last up, someone mentioned to me, because we have all these Arcade1Up and Arcade Facebook groups too. So I posted a couple days ago about the problems I was having with my Walmart pre-orders, and also I posted this video, and someone said, just get it from GameStop, man, here in Canada, because you can also get a discount. So I mentioned to him, I was like, you don't want to know why I won't order one of these cabs from GameStop. So here's my GameStop story. Back when we were getting NBA Jam, remember how I was months later than you guys on NBA Jam?
Oh, super late.
Super late. So what happened was I pre-ordered through EB Games at the time, which is GameStop here in Canada, and GameStop in Canada is now GameStop. They took over the name. Anyways, my NBA Jam never came in. I was like, what the hell? So I went to the store. They couldn't tell me why. Finally, I went to the store. No one told me anything. I was friends with the guy at the store. He told me, he said, yeah, they got 58 cabs in, but they had 69 pre-orders. They oversold their pre-orders compared to the number of cabinets they had. So the reason why I never got my cabinet is they were trying to get additional inventory because they had oversold. They were like, do you want to wait another couple of months? I was like, no, I do not.
You remind me of, guys, one of my favorite TV shows is Seinfeld. I can quote that show all day, all night. You remind me of him at the rental car counter. So you know how to take the reservation.
Exactly.
You don't know how to keep the reservation.
No,
the reservation is supposed to keep my arcade cabinet here. Yeah. And there's no arcade cabinet for me. You know how to make the reservation. Take the reservation. Don't know how to keep it. You don't know how to keep it. Yeah. Oh, Mike, that would totally be you. That would totally be you.
Gabriel Gray, I'm East Coast, actually. I'm in Newfoundland, Canada. Not West Coast.
Yeah.
Brew Crew says, all of these damn stories leads to one conclusion. Stop pre-ordering. I did. I
agree.
I stopped pre-ordering the cabinets because of all the problems I had, and I waited. I waited until Walmart put them up. But this is where I got screwed this time. Walmart moved to a pre-order model as well. And Walmart are notoriously the worst for pre-orders. Ask me about my Zelda Game & Watch. Are you enjoying your Zelda Game & Watch?
Oh, I'm loving it, man. It's awesome.
Yeah. Mine shipped 3 days after it came out.
Mike, you sound spoiled. You sound spoiled right now.
But here's the thing: like in our Arcade1Up Canadian group that we have, everybody was telling me, "Yeah, I got my shipping notice. And I was like, "Yeah, just sitting here with my thumb in my butt."
So, what's funny is you would assume that because TJ put, "What about ordering from Arcade1Up Direct?" Same story. He wrote that in the live chat. So, I would assume. And this is just me. Like, if I have a retailer partner who's waiting on, let's just say 500 units, right? And I also sold 500 units myself direct, but my retail partner is waiting for their units. Me personally, like, I would probably want my retail partner to keep selling my product. So I would probably give them that first container, right? Like, here you go.
Yeah.
But it sounds like, is that what's happening though? Is that what's happening? Is Arcade1Up Direct, are they shipping quicker than their retail partners? Do you know?
I have no idea. I think some cabs, like I know Big Blue, the first people to get Big Blue came directly from Arcade1Up. Those are the people that got their Big Blues first.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Where is this? That's weird. Why do you put your thumb there? I don't. It's just, it's a saying here. I don't know.
Yeah. There was another question I saw in here that was really good. Let's see if we can find it. Michael B and P Dubs from Retrostasis. What games do you think Arcade1Up will add to the MK 30th anniversary cab? I honestly think it'll probably be the same games that are on the Midway Legacy cabinet today, except they'll be online enabled. And if anything, they'll probably swap out a game or two. Like you got to get Paperboy off of there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Give us something else. You can't play Paperboy on that cabinet. And what was the other game that's got the messed up controls on there? Is it Defender?
Yeah.
Yeah. So probably swap those two games out for something that you could actually play with those sticks and buttons in that arrangement. But that's what I think it'll be. It'll literally be a rehash with online play, and they might flip one or two games. That'll be your MK like online legacy cabinet. That's what I'm thinking.
I think it'll be more along the lines of Big Blue. I think you'll see mostly all the games change for games that would work well in an online environment. So, I mean, like Tapper, you're not going to play Tapper online. So you're going to look for games like Pit Fighter. That was a Midway game, wasn't it?
Look, Papa. Wait, hold on. Now, Papa Brad is known throughout the arcade community of being a legit guy. Papa Brad is legit. You hear it all the time, but he just wrote Tubin sucks. I think he just
That's
lost
not legit.
I,
That does not make
he,
you legit.
I think he just lost 1 or 2 legit points because Tubin rocks.
Tubin does rock, and Tubin has the
great.
best marquee in arcade history.
Come on, you gotta love Tubin. Tubin's a great
Who doesn't
game.
love Tubin?
Tubin's awesome. So, oh, okay. So now, are they going to make it just a dedicated cabinet? I don't think so. I think it'll be like Mike said, like the Big Blue. I'm hoping for 12 games, probably 4 Mortal Kombat games on there, and the rest will be like the legacy games, but with leaderboards or online capability. That's what I'm thinking they'll do. But don't quote us. We'll take whatever they give us, right, Mike?
Yeah. Down the time, I don't know if you're joking around here, but I love Bubbles. Like I could play Bubbles for hours. Love it.
My wife loves that Bubbles game on the Midway Legacy. She loved that game. So Tubin is great.
Yeah, guys. So that's just it. Like some retailers have really been putting the screws to us, unfortunately, in terms of these pre-orders.
You sound so aggressive. They're putting the screws.
Well, this is why I wanted you here, because you're just like, you'll get it when you get it. No big deal.
Mike,
I know.
Mike,
I know it's first world problems. I get that.
Mike, you'll get it when you get it, man. I wouldn't stress about it. You have so much stuff to play with. Look behind you. You got plenty of stuff to keep you occupied before it shows up. And also, like I told you, when it comes to, if you're worried about people not watching your YouTube reviews, they will still watch your reviews. The people that truly appreciate your opinion will still watch your reviews. So don't even worry about it.
I get it. I have anxiety, P-dubs. I want the stuff. I want the stuff.
Sounds spoiled.
It does. I know it's first world problems.
Well, let me just put it to you this way, Mike. Maybe I can help inspire you. So, for instance, a couple of cabinets that I have that I'll be doing reviews on that have been out for a long time, like the Arcade1Up Infinity gaming table. So I finally got around to starting to shoot some footage for it. Like I've taken some B-roll footage, getting ready to do the review. That thing's been out forever, Mike, but I'm still going to put out a review video because I know some of my viewers might want to know, what does he think about it, right? Like, does he like it? Does he hate it? Would he recommend it? Would he not? And I think it's still totally worth doing the video. And of course, Big Blue, if I ever get a working unit. And that thing's been out for months.
Yeah, I know. I got to do my Big Blue review too, but I want to get all that At Game stuff out of the way.
Oh,
the stuff they sent me.
I love pinball. This is a great question.
I do think we'll see another Williams pinball. I think that you're gonna see another Williams pinball this year.
Can I tell you what my prediction is on the Williams pinball? You know how the last one was Attack from Mars, was like the artwork, right?
Yeah.
Do you guys remember when that game first came out and they had the games list and then they took one of the best games off of the list? They took Funhouse off.
Agree with you 100%. That's exactly what I was thinking.
So my guess is next year they will reveal, coming soon, the Williams Funhouse, because that is such a popular and great pinball game that could be the artwork on that thing, and I think it would sell. I think people would buy that. Let us know in the live chat, guys. Would you buy a Funhouse themed table? It'll probably have 10 games on it, 10 Williams games that weren't on the other cabinets. I think I would be very interested in seeing that artwork. I think that would be totally cool. Funhouse. And then just like we talked about on the Super Game Room dudes, I think we'll see another Marvel pinball machine, but it'll have the rest of the Marvel games that they didn't put on the first Marvel pinball machine. There might be 1 or 2, because I think there's 19 games. So there might be 1 or 2 games that kind of overlap, but I think they'll have the Thanos game, Iron Man, Hulk. It'll be literally like an Avengers Infinity War themed table instead of it being Marvel. That's what I'm thinking.
I've already seen it. I've already seen it. It's the Hulk table.
Because it'll be the Hulk?
John D accidentally shared it in one of his pictures he put out.
Yeah, but it was blurred. You couldn't tell it was the Hulk.
It was the Hulk. It was 100% the Hulk. Go back and look at the picture. I'll send it to you if you need.
Yeah, pull it up right now. Let's see this
if I still got it. All right,
pull it.
Right. You entertain everybody while I get this picture.
Right, and then so I'm thinking I would love to see another event Marvel table from them. And yeah, if they did a Universal, with like Back to the Future, E.T., Jaws, the Universal Monsters
Jurassic
tables,
Park, Jurassic World.
Creature from the Black Lagoon. Like that would be a cool one as well. I still think what would happen is they'll probably still release these with 10 games at a time, right?
Oh yeah.
And then the mystery encoder will help us along the way.
All right.
Did you find it?
Yep. So let me just get this from our conversation.
All right, guys.
Images.
Don't go anywhere yet. We want to know, is this a Hulk table? Only you can help us figure this out, guys. Get ready to put it in a live chat.
Oh my God. So where do I put it here? Does it go in overlay, background, logo?
Just set it as an overlay so we can talk over it.
Okay. Add overlay.
Yeah. All right, guys, get ready. Get ready. Wasn't it yellow? Like, why would the Hulk table be yellow? It would be green.
Brah, I'm telling you.
Hold on. All right. Get Deputy's comment off of there.
Oh, how do we do this? Oh, this is a nightmare.
Remove it this way. Just remove Deputy's comment so people can see it.
There we go.
All right. All right. So you're telling me that blurred image on the bottom left is a Hulk?
Look, Hulk. There's his arm, pants, foot. Hulk.
Wait a minute. Wait, is there a little bit of green there underneath the blur?
Yep.
Oh, wait a minute. Hulk. That might be the Hulk.
It definitively is the Hulk.
He's got a green foot. Oh, man. All right. Here, can you take that off of there?
Yep, sure can. Just got to go up here, figure out how this works. Boom. There we go.
As I predicted earlier in the show, guys, there will be a Hulk-themed Marvel pinball cabinet coming your way soon, baby. You heard it here first. That's totally his foot. Like you can see his foot at the bottom. Yeah. That's the Hulk.
And purple shorts.
Then again, did they tease us with that Back to the Future one? Remember that CES photo from 2 years ago? They could be trolling us. It could be a huge troll job.
100% could be a huge troll job. I think the Universal Cab is a little tough because you have so many different. This is where it's tough. You have so many different brands there. Like on top of it being Universal, you got Back to the Future, which is a brand in itself. You got E.T., you've got Jaws, and then you've got the Jurassic World franchises. Then the Universal movie monsters like Creature of the Black Lagoon and Monster Mash. That's less of a problem. But how do you get these ones to play together nicely so that they go into one cab? You can either have the Universal amalgamation branding, or like people are like, let's make it a Back to the Future cab. But how do you do that where you make Jurassic World secondary? Like it's so tough.
That would be interesting too, because like the other Universal games on there, like Back to the Future, E.T., and all that, they use the Zen physics, right? But then when you switch over to play like Creature from the Black Lagoon, Monster Bash, all that, like those use the Williams physics, right? So you're going to have definite. Some player, like, you'll be like, oh, wow, I played Creature of the Black Lagoon for 30 seconds, and then I played Back to the Future for 45 minutes, because even if you want to die, you cannot die. That game just keeps going and going and going. So, yeah, that's kind of funny. That'll be interesting if they can pull it. Like, or would they give us less games? Less games.
What would shock me is if they figured out some way to go outside Zen's normal library and they release something we didn't expect.
That would be cool. Mandalorian?
No, I said outside their regular library. Like, what if they came up with some classic arcade tables like Addams
like
Family?
New stuff?
New stuff to classic old.
I think they should. I think that would be cool. I mean, we'll take it. Why not? They're they're the biggest pinball developer right now, VPin developer right now. Why can't they?
Yeah, exactly. And when they originally announced pinball, I wanted to see more real pinball tables modified. And I'm hoping that they can figure out to go in that direction. What I really don't I know some people will like this, but what about if they release a table based on Zen originals? Do you think that would sell well?
There are some Zen originals I really like, but my tastes are probably different than like a lot of you guys. Like I really like all the fantasy themed tables. So like Zeus and like Epic Quest and what are the other games on there? Like all the Excalibur You know what I mean? Like, I would want like them to make a fantasy themed virtual pinball table. And I don't know, you could pick the artwork for any of those games,
Yeah.
and it would probably look gorgeous with like swords and knights and dragons and all that stuff. I think that would be really cool. But minus that, like Zen Originals, like, do you really want to play? Like, they have some that are just so stupid. Like, why would you even want that on a dedicated cabinet?
I think that'd be probably one of the harder ones to sell in terms of what Arcade1Up will put out. I don't think there'd be much of a market for that. Now, Destro brings up a very interesting point because on the last pinball show, Zen Studios actually had Spooky on and started talking about some possible collaboration. And Spooky just released that new Halloween pinball table. Whoa. Can you imagine if they did something like that?
That would be insane and awesome, you
Yeah.
know? I mean, it would make sense to me that these companies reach out to some of the real pinball machine makers out there, such as Stern, Spooky, American Pinball, Jersey Jack, and say, hey, since you have the license for that IP, and since let's say they've built like 2,000 Halloween pinball machines, and that's all they're going to make, but you still want to make some money off that license. Let us have that license and make a digital creation of your game. It's not going to hurt your sales because you've made and sold all the machines you were going to sell. And let's turn those into some digital creations. Like, it just makes sense that these companies go after those guys and try and make that happen. And wouldn't that, those would be the announcements next year that really get the community pumped. Like, we're getting Halloween, or we're getting like Jersey Jack, or, you know what I mean? Like, hell, I'll take that. Oh God, who made the Hot Wheels table?
I don't know.
Was that American Pinball? Guys, who made the Hot Wheels table? Just came out, and then they just, like, the Hot Wheels table looked pretty cool as well. Yeah. So yeah, that'd be cool. Like, I think that would be really cool.
Yeah, if they moved away from what we expect from Zen and really surprised us, like,
Yeah.
I'd be super, super down with that. That's what I'm hoping for. I know it's a pipe dream. It's the same as wishing for the Donkey Kong cabinet every year. It's not going to happen, but you want it to happen.
Some guys, they must know, they're teasing me about Elvira in the live chat. My dream pinball machine to own would be an Elvira Scared Stiff.
What's the other two she does? Mistress of the Night and Elvira Pinball Party?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. But Scared Stiff is the one that I've played frequently and like that game a lot. And she's hot.
Yeah. Yeah. Still, at how old is she now? Cassandra Peterson, 72?
She's up there, man.
And still, like, dynamite.
Yeah. You'd hit
like, hall pass territory.
Oh my God, you almost made me spill out my beverage.
Elvira the Party Monsters was the other one. There you go.
Yeah.
Anyways, guys, that's it. Like, you know what tonight is. It's just a chance for us to hang out and have fun. We talked about some shit with some pre-orders that, unfortunately, I've had some bad experience. What I've learned from it all is never pre-order. The shitty thing is, and I'm using poop here a lot or shit, but I know why pre-orders are so important, especially right now where retailers are so worried about how much inventory they should bring in, making sure they have the right number, and it helps Arcade1Up at the same time. But when the retailers do stupid stuff like what they're doing right now with Walmart, not getting their pre-orders out while getting the pre-orders out in the stores, and then what's happened here in Canada where they just don't send out the pre-orders for whatever goddamn reason, it just hurts Arcade1Up's reputation when they're trying to do the right thing at a time when it's critical. So, you know what? It's not that big a deal. P-Dubs, you're right. I'm going to get these cabinets. I just need to be more patient.
Stop being a baby. You're going to get it. You'll get it when you get it. You'll get it when it gets here.
Jason's
going to be fine.
Jason said this earlier on Facebook. Try the calming candles. Breathe it in. Let it go.
Guys, if you enjoyed the podcast show, make sure you give us a thumbs up. What I really, really like about Michael B is that he's so down to earth. He's such a good guy. And you know what? Over the last year and a half that we've been collaborating, working together, you've become a dear friend. And I just want you to know I appreciate you and what you do for the arcade and gaming community. So keep up the great work, Mike. You're doing great.
Thanks, buddy. Sosa Fam Bam Bam says, again, free Marvel vs. Capcom 2. We can all agree to that. Blade Brown keeps asking about what about the Three Stooges on the NES. Surprisingly fun. Conti says, thanks, guys. And I could stay on here all night and make sure P-Dubs never gets any sleep, but I won't do that. You guys all have a wonderful night. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll talk to you next time.
Are you going to stop the show now? There you go, Mike.